Well, hello and welcome to Karting Live TV and, of course, to the Kart Championship. Round 2 from Shennington, the historic, long, thin track with the hairpins and the turns and the flat bits. Now, I've never been here before, but therefore I need an expert. I need someone who knows all about Shennington, who knows about the history, the majesty, the fact that the gliders keep trying to crash into the track. Who better than Henry Baudet? Henry, all the way from Wales again, but to one of the most traditional venues in karting.
Yeah, we call this the grand old lady of British karting, the Edge Hill Kart Club. It's been here since 1960. It's a real old school track. The tarmac's very weathered. It's quite a simple track, so it lends itself to lots of slipstreaming. You're going to see a lot of close racing, which is going to be great because we've got a record-breaking 180 plus drivers here. You know, there's going to be classes that not all the drivers make the finals, so it's going to be a really, really exciting weekend.
So what's the key to going fast at Shennington then? You say it's slipstreaming, but obviously if you're slipstreaming, you're not in the lead.
So maintain the lead here at Shennington with some of the new defensive rules that we've got this year about, making two movements is going to be the lead isn't necessarily the place you want to be. If you want to just coat the inside line, you can, but that's going to mean that there's a lot of very upset drivers behind you, and getting eased out of the way is not beyond the realms of possibility. You've really got to time things right. I'll guarantee one thing, and that is the leader going on to the last lap of every final will not be the winner. There will be last lap lead changes because you have to time it right. You can make lots of moves. If a driver wants to not cooperate and just block and defend, then you'll get a small group getting away at the front. But if everybody races, cleanly, you'll see multiple lead change. It'll be like the Tour de France, the peloton, where everyone will cycle through, something like that. That's going to be the key, timing.
Well, that sounds very exciting, but not anything like as exciting as sending young Henry to talk to the great and the good in the paddock. In fact, I might try and find someone who organises the whole event as well. Henry that way, I'm going this way.
Now, one of the great things about the Kart Championship is it offers drivers a chance to move up straight from Bambino all the way through the cadets, the inters, juniors, and now this year, senior. Now, one driver that's taken you've missed a couple of rungs on the ladder is Ralphie Branscombe. Ralphie was last year's Honda Cadet British champion, but he's missed out Inter, and we're going to jump straight into junior Rotax. How are you finding the jump from cadet straight into juniors?
Well, it is quite a hard jump, but if some people are dissing you doing it because they think it's hard, people are telling you it's hard. It's not as hard as you think. As long as you put the work in, you'll get through it and you'll be able to do it like I did.
I mean, one thing you've got to in addition to the increase in speed, it's the actual size of the go-kart, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen you make a few moves that would have been great in Honda, but with a much wider rear axle. That takes a bit of time to get used to, doesn't it?
It really does. The first day I got in one, I was driving on the outside on the grass because I was just driving where I'd position my Honda, but the wheels were on the grass. And it was just jokes.
But you've had some really good results, okay? You've won the British title last year. When you came into juniors at the start of this year, there was a couple of events where it was a little bit of a struggle getting up to speed, but now we're right, mid-pack and moving forward.
Yeah, I really struggled when I first started, but I just put in the work, did some workouts and got into it, and then made my core strength, my arms, my neck all stronger, and then I just got used to driving it more comfortably in a sense.
So, now Ralphie just mentioned about core strength and putting the work in abs. How old are you?
I am 13.
Okay, what does your average 13-year-old go-kart racer need to do to stay fit for a class as fast and as aggressive and as physical as junior Rotax? Take us through your weekly routine.
Well, overall, just having a kind of healthy, natural, diet, and just even normal workouts you can do without anything, like push-ups, sit-ups, planks, a 1 minute plank a day, 50 push-ups and 50 sit-ups, just get your core, and then maybe if you have a pull-up bar, 50 pull-ups or 10 pull-ups or just something every day, just build it up and you'll get better and better and stronger over time.
And not so much on the sweets, no?
No, not too much on the streets.
See, every parent's dream child right here. Speaking of parents, you do this sport with your dad Joe and your mum Peaches. You're with the Caddicks team here, but it's always a family operation, isn't it? How special is it knowing that you're travelling around with your mum and your dad doing things together?
It's insane. Like the 8-hour trip we have up to Larkhill sometimes, and we're just talking in the van at like 12 o'clock on the motorway, and it's just so much fun.
Well, there we go. Windshield time, they call it. When you're much older and you're doing whatever you're doing, it's not the results that sometimes matter. It's the time you spent driving up and down the highways,
Yeah.
windshield time, that make it special. Who do you want to thank for getting you this far this season?
Kitty X, my mum, my dad, and all my family, and my sponsor AP Lifting and JSCC Young Ones.
There we go. There's one to watch. Ralphie Branska moving straight out of Honda into junior this year, and he's quick. One of the unique features of the Kart Championship is the Junior Primo class. Now, that's a junior Rotax kart and engine, but the class is only open to drivers aged 12 to 14. And the key thing is that no one in this class is allowed to enter if they've finished in the top 10 in any sort of Motorsport UK national event before. So it's perfect for drivers like Noah Jones, who's coming into the sport to get some competitive racing in. And it's great for coaches and mechanics like Jonathan Buck, who of course is experienced with your own son in the British Championship, to bring new drivers in and teach them. So Noah, how long have you been racing for? And are you enjoying the Kart Championship?
I've been racing for like 11, 12 months now. I've done Hooten a few times, and this is like first year of racing now and everything. It's kind of getting new, and it's a bit competitive too, It's hard and everything, yeah.
So it's the most competitive racing you've done, but the good news is that you haven't got drivers that are coming in from the British Championship and just cherry picking and blowing you away. You're all in the same experience level, so you're all learning together.
Yeah, I think it's like good that we have like 12 to 14s, because like say now you just got into junior, you got 12-year-olds versus 16-year-olds that's been like karting since they were 6 or 7 years old,
Yeah. And Jonathan, again, your son Finley, he's raced at the highest level in the British Championship. You're coming in now as a coach and a mechanic. What's the difference that you notice between junior Rotax and junior Primo?
Like you say, the level is totally different. So it's more beneficial for the younger kids like Noah, because the level of the older kids is a lot higher. So it gives them a lot better chance to do well.
And of course, the team here, you're racing with Ultimate Art. They're a top team, Ben and Matty Hingley. So the awning is very professional. You're learning in a highly professional environment, but you're kind of gathering speed. Where are you at the moment? Because there's a full grid here, isn't there?
Currently I'm starting like second last and everything, but I'm learning, because yesterday I was like 5 seconds off the pace, but I've gotten better and better. They've taught me lines and where I to brake and everything,
And that's where the expertise of yourself comes in, because all the things you've learnt with Finley, that helps. And do you find that Noah's soaking up the information like he should be?
Yeah, like you said, yesterday, first, he'd never been here till yesterday morning. He's 5 seconds off the pace. Next session is, a few tenths off, and he's finding tenths every session. And he's coming, he's enjoying it. That's the main thing. And I think that's a good thing about the Primo, because he can enjoy it without feeling under too much pressure.
Yeah, no, I mean, from your perspective, if you've got, when you were coming through Cadet and stuff with Finley, if there are drivers out there that, like I say, are racing club level, in Cadet, maybe a Honda at Hooten Park, Bayford Meadows, stuff like that, why is this such an attractive proposition for them? What would you say to prospective drivers out there now who want to dip their toe into the water but are a little bit unsure?
That's the thing. If you're coming from I am a Cadet or Hondas or wherever, and you think, I don't want to jump into one of the big national championships because you think you're going to be out your depth. Here you can come in and it's a more level playing field. There's no massive names that have been racing for 10 years that you're just going to drive away from. So it makes it better for the youngs.
And we can tell that you're having fun, Noah. You're having fun. That's amazing. Are you having fun? Are you enjoying this experience? And what are your hopes for the whole season?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Just like a few hopes, like try and get top 10 a few times and just try and get better and better,
Okay, there we go. And I suppose you could say in Welsh, who would you like to thank?
diolch Ben Hinchley ag Matty Hinchley, like helping me get some lines and everything, and my mum and dad.
That's a diolchi is a thank you to Matty and Ben Hingley and to his mum and dad. So there we go. So Noah and Coach Jonathan Buck, there we go. Thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers, thanks a lot.
Well, yeah, we spoke to Joe last time round, and in our desire to, well, I suppose to really curry favour with the organisers, we're going to have a quick word with Darren Beavers. Darren, round 2 of the Kart Championship, and you must be really pleased with how it's gone. First 2 rounds, big grids both times, and it looks like the championship's really established itself.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Nick. I mean, yes, round 2 again, just over 180 entries. Obviously, we went to round 1 last month for I think 182, 183. Great numbers. We felt like that was possibly a little bit inflated because we fell 2 weeks before the Rotax British Championship. We didn't expect to come here with any more than 140 realistically. However, 181, brilliant. Yeah. So to keep numbers up like we are throughout round 1 and round 2 is really positive. In this game, you can never please everybody, but we seem to be doing all right at the moment. And yeah, so far so good this weekend. We're running on time. There's a few races left to go today, but we're still running on time. And yeah, the finals and super heats to go tomorrow, and we move on to GYG in Wales next month.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting also because a couple of the newer championships or newer classes have really taken off. We've got a fantastic entry in Mighty E, and also Junior Primo pretty full as well. And these are kind of things that are more unique to this championship, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually quite difficult for me because we now have so many classes. I don't like to reduce the track time, so we can only fit on a double grid for one class. Obviously, at the first round, that double grid went to juniors. This round, juniors sort of hovered around the 34 mark, and there was nobody coming forward else wanting in. So the demand in the Mighty has literally gone through the roof. Their class is consistently growing. I mean, 28 here this weekend. There's talk there's going to be 32, 33 of them by next month. So we gave that double grid to Mighty. And yeah, it's great to see the new drivers in Mighty coming along. I mean, I'm sure you've seen Karun Chandok's lads like here. Great to see him here. We even had a little visit from Dave Richards this morning, came along, shook my hand, took a couple of photos. So it's great to see people like Karun Chandok and Dave Richards in a go-karting paddock because they're normally in bigger paddocks than ours. But no, really good. And like I said, Junior Primo, something I bought in 12 months ago. It took a while to grow, but this round, very popular. The kids seem to like doing a year in that class before going on that bit more brutal junior grid,
Now, we're at Shennington here. It's not a track we've been in the last couple of years. I mean, how is that track selection made? Because it's subtly changed each year. I mean, is it what's available? You want to go somewhere new? Someone says, oh, you should go here, it's really great. When you sit down with the rest of the team, how do you decide where the rounds are going to be?
I don't know if I can tell you that. That's my secret. It's very difficult. Putting the right calendar together is very, very difficult, and it's about working with other championships. People think all the championships are sort of against each other and trying to nick business from each other. It's not like that, actually. When all the championships work well together, everybody can plan their year and have a good year. I mean, not clashing with certain other championships is a big one, and also trying to fall at the same venues as other championships helps too. And this year, part of it I worked with other people, and it has helped. Another part of it is just luck, really. I mean, you've got to get your dates in there early these days because there's such high demand for the dates, and there's only a certain amount of weekends every year. But get your dates in early, work with a couple of people, and hope for a bit of luck. And this year, I think we've got a very, very good calendar. Next year, I mean, I've already started working on it, sort of trying to secure dates at certain venues. But yeah, until August, September comes, there's nothing really ever set in stone until then.
Of course, a big ambition for you to get around at PFI this year.
Absolutely, PFI, great place. A lot of people see it as one of the best kart circuits in the whole of Europe, really. So to go there, yeah, great. Costing me a lot of money, but it's on the calendar, and if we get 180 drivers there, I'll be over the moon.
Now, I know we're only at round 2 of the Summer Championship, but we've had winter events in the last couple of years. Is there a plan for anything in the winter?
At this moment in time, I can say we will be doing something over winter. What, we're not too sure yet. We've been approached from Warden Law. They'd like us to run their Autumn Cup event like we did last year in November. We're still in discussions with them. I'm also working on a possible 4-stroke festival. Again, not confirmed, but we're getting great support in the Honda Cadet class, as you would have seen this weekend. Again, another sold out grid in Honda with a reserve list. There's actually a little lad over there who didn't get a place on the grid, but he came in the hope somebody may not turn up. But he's just here spectating this weekend. So I want to do something. Obviously, the Mighty grid's growing, the Honda grid's growing, and yeah, do something a little bit different with that over winter. But for sure, there'll be something for everybody. And I should have that released in the next couple of months.
So, at what point in the weekend do you relax? Is it like after today? It just kind of rolls itself, and there's no one moaning at you all the time.
No.
Are people moaning right at the point when they leave?
I don't like to say moaning. I like to say
Constructively criticising.
Yeah. I don't relax. I don't get a break really. I've been doing it a long, long time now. I've aged 20 years in the last 10. But yeah, this is a nice break for me, actually, talking to a camera. But yeah, there's always something, you know. If my obviously I can do every role. I can do scrutineering, I can do timekeeping, I can do reception. I don't want to, but those guys pull me from pillar to post. Opinions this, can you answer this, can you answer that? And yeah, the parents do come in with a lot of questions all of the time. But it's just the nature of the job. You just got to suck it up and answer them as best you can. You're never going to please everyone, and some people don't like what I tell them, but it's the nature of the beast, unfortunately. It's a tough game, and you're never going to please everyone. You've got 180 competitors like sort of here, 2 sets of parents, grandparents. We're probably at 800 people, and you're never going to please them all. You just got to stick by your regulations and do what's right.
Thanks, Aaron, and well, enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Minimax is traditionally one of the most exciting classes in the Kart Championship, and this weekend promises to be no different. Now, I'm with Logan Rolfe. Logan is a first-year Minimax driver, driving for Luke Christie Racing on the Synergy chassis. Logan, you're quite tall, but you're only 10, so this is your first year in Mini. How's it going so far?
The British, we had a good result. Super 1, we won the O play, and then we won round 1 and 2, and we're leading the championship by 25 points, and it's going quite well today.
And this is a really, really strong grid. So, you know, this and the British is probably the toughest grids that you race on, isn't it?
Yes, the British is the most hardest championship in the UK, so it's quite hard.
And then, but obviously there's lots of strong drivers in here as well. What's it like moving out of micro to minis? The same size go-kart, but it's a bit more power, isn't there?
Yes, it comes off the corner quicker and to different tyres, because 2 years ago we was on Mogios in micro, and then it changed to a Dunlop, and then it went to Vega, and now in Intermax or Minimax, whatever you want to call it, we're back on the Mogios.
Again, so that's a lot for young drivers to take in, because every tyre reacts differently, doesn't it? So you're learning how to manage a tyre over a course of the weekend?
Yeah, totally. Because it's because trying to get the temperature right on the engine, trying to remember the braking points, trying to keep it on the track, just everything trying to do.
Now, if you're familiar with karting for a long period of time, you might be familiar with, you know, the Rolfe name. Logan's dad, Gary, has run a team for many, many years, and he was a mechanic for some great drivers, including the late Dan Weldon. You grew up in this sport, you know, your dad, Gary, your mum, Kelly. You know, when did you first come to a kart circuit? Can you remember?
Kimbolton 2017, I want to say. I went to Kimbolton.
And how old are you then?
I was 2 years old.
2 years old. When did you decide that you wanted to become a kart racer and follow into everything that your family was doing?
Well, my dad's dad did motorbikes at Rye House, and then he did racing, and then my dad did racing. He ran his own team called Vital Motorsport.
Ran Bobby Thompson, British touring car driver. I remember it well.
And now I just developed into it, and yeah.
So are you doing karting for fun? Do you want to see it? Where would you want to go in this journey that you're on?
Make it to single-seater F1.
Make a single-seater F1, perfect. Now, Logan is driving. You're a bit walking wounded this weekend. Do you want to tell us what happened on Wednesday?
On Wednesday, I cut my head. I went to the park after school, and I cut my head on barbed wire as I leant down to go in a bush. So I cut my head on barbed wire, and it scraped it. Then it went deep. Then it scraped it again, and I had to get it glued at the doctor's surgery that night.
Now, forgive me for, I don't want to cast aspersions here, Logan, but they don't tend to put barbed wire in parks in areas where you're allowed to go. Were you trying to sneak somewhere that you weren't allowed to go?
No, I was hiding in a bush from my sister and with all of my other friends, and surprisingly, they didn't manage to cut their head on barbed wire. It was only because I was being so stupid in a bush.
There we are, okay. What are your goals this weekend? You've had that win at Super 1, okay, you've got some really good results. Where would you like to see yourself at the end of the day on Sunday?
Just to carry it on, basically, just win, and that all comes top 2 or top 3. That's all that I'm looking for this weekend, basically.
Brilliant, thank you very much, Logan, and your repaired glued head.
Thanks.
As part of the record-breaking 181 drivers we have here at Shennington this weekend is a full grid of 34 Honda Cadets, including these two young men from the new Martin Jackson racing team, including British Open champion Ronnie Jones and Shailen Shrikanthan. Now, we'll start off. So it's a new team this year. How are you finding moving up into the kart championship?
Good. It's a lot different compared to like club rounds and that, but yeah, it's good, fun.
Yeah, and Shailen, is this your first season racing any sort of national racing?
In national it is, but I've been doing a couple of club rounds last year, so I've got some experience.
And when did you start karting?
On my birthday, which was about 2 years ago.
Okay, and Ronnie?
Yeah, same on my birthday 2 years ago.
Okay, now of course you might think that now with Honda Cadet, you can start Honda Cadet when you're 8 and you can race up until you're about 12 years old. You can see the difference in height here between the one drivers. So, what's the advantage of being taller and what's the disadvantage?
You go out of the cart quicker, but an advantage is like there's not really many advantages to be fair.
No, but I mean, so so being smaller, you can tuck down more behind the wheel.
Yeah, but you need to put ballast on, so it kind of evens it out. But they have the advantage, they can brake because they're heavier, whereas me, it takes a long time to brake, but I can get out of the corners quicker, so...
Okay, now, between the two of you, because again, teammates are friends, but what's the one person you want to beat more than anyone else? Your teammate. So, you got a bit more of an advantage this year, but how is it going between you two? What's the score at the moment?
Dunno.
Shailen?
Well, our chain came off in qualifying, so we had to start from the back. We managed to gain about 16 positions in the first heat and 13 in the second heat, so we're around 20th.
Okay, brilliant. So you're going to be starting P20 tomorrow. And what about you, Ronnie?
So first heat, so qualifying, I qualified 9th, and then the second heat, first heat I came 2nd, and then second heat just now something happened and I was up in like 5th, but then I dropped to 9th.
Now, you've got the O on your kart, the O plate. Since you've put that on, you won that at Wilton Mill. Since you've got the O on your kart, have you found yourself driving differently? Does it give you a little bit more, has it a bit more pep in your step?
Yeah, it just makes you feel a bit happier and like knowing I can like do it more.
Yeah, that no one else can run the zero in at all. So, goals this week. Huge grid of Honda Cadets. Okay, you had a bit of bad luck to start with, Shailen. Is all your bad luck over with? What are we hoping for?
Well, I'm trying to get a top 10, which will gain me, like last time we spun off, so hopefully we can get better than 20th, because that's where we finished last time, so anywhere better than 20th was good.
Okay, so Shailen, anything better than 20th? What about you, Ronnie?
Top 5 hopefully. That's what I want. Yeah, top 5.
Top 5. And what's the atmosphere like in the team? Because it's a new team. We're getting some race suits. I know that we're getting some branded race suits. You've got an awning there. We're going to get some branding. It's a big step up for the whole team, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you have fun in the atmosphere here?
Yeah, they're very friendly here, and it's nice to be around them.
Excellent, there we go. Well, that's not often you hear drivers say that it's nice to be around each other in the team. So for MJR, that's Martin Jackson Racing, Shailen Shrikanthan, and the Oplay champion Ronnie Jones, 2 to watch this weekend in Honda Cadet.